Welcome back, everyone, to the Insecure audio commentary series here on the Polaris Network. I'm your host, Bree, who's one of the co-founders here. I have so much to say about this next episode, but if you haven't checked out Insecure, our first episode that we recorded, go ahead and go back a week and find that recording. But before we get into the episode, I do want to introduce my lovely panel of guests and Secure fans. I'm going to have you guys just go ahead down the line, state your name, and we'll get right into it.
Hey everyone, I'm Melissa from According to This Black Girl podcast.
Hey everyone, this is Ashley.
Hey everyone, this is Cam.
Cool. So this episode is called Growth Okay, and it starts off, the episode's basically a year. They go forward a year, which I really appreciated because I wanted to see what more is going to go on with this story. But personally, I didn't really care for this episode, y'all.
Oh,
I did not.
Did you feel like it was a filler or something?
Yeah, that's exactly the vibe I got for this. It just felt like a filler episode because, I mean, there's some points I did like about it. Like, I wanted to talk like I don't have much to say about the fashion, but I did like that because I peeped Issa was wearing a Telfar bag in this episode.
And she wore it in the first one?
Yes. I still haven't got one yet. I still want one.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, she had a few in the first episode. I like peeped it, and I'm like, I really like that because it's a Black-owned brand, and Issa really makes sure she puts Black everything, which is why I love the show so much. But I guess we can just start off with like how it started. Like, I really love Issa and Molly, like their friendship and how intimate it's gone. And now intimacy doesn't have to be like, romantic, but just like someone you just can genuinely connect to. And I really appreciated that. And I actually did watch, I saw this viral video today, and it was like a platonic life partner. And basically this woman was basically saying how her best friend is her life partner. And she was like, I'm going to go buy a house with her. And if we ever decide if we want a kid, we're going to raise the kid together. But it's strictly platonic. And I don't know, I got those vibes with Issa and Molly. But I liked it because it's like, every friendship doesn't have to, I think friendship is as important as romantic. And I think it kind of like loses what we see on the media, it loses its how important it is because people always want to push that narrative that romantic is what you need to strive for in life. But that was my little 2 cents on that. But
no, I feel that. I like that when they brought up the pillow. And it's like you have a friend who loves you so much, even though she's, cracking jokes about you didn't her pillows, that she thought to get you your own. I think that that's great. It's just like, I wanted to know how many times a week is Molly spending the night at Issa's house?
It looked
how much?
Like a lot.
Yeah, right. Like, what are we talking? Like, are they, you might as well not be paying rent. We live in LA. Molly lives in downtown. If y'all don't start sharing rent and stop with this nonsense, y'all gonna be spending the night.
Honestly, right.
No, yeah, but Molly's always been well off. Like, she lives in, especially downtown. Oh my gosh, those prices. She lives in a luxury apartment.
Yeah.
And she's well off. They were talking about it in the Wind Down, how they wanted to portray a woman with spending power. And that's what Molly is, that she's supposed to be the what's that word? I feel like I should do a drinking everyone should have a drinking game. If I say what's that word, take a shot. What is that?
It's like word?
It's like that's what I'm trying to figure out my own self. It's like I don't want to say poster child. I feel like there's a better word for it, but like
I think like I was thinking rag to riches story because she's from Crenshaw and Florence, which is like down the street from where I live at, considered like the the lesser part, and she's living in this condo, a few blocks down as a lawyer. Like that's what I see, her. It's like, wow, like she's that girl, and she could relate to people on both sides. You know.
Yeah, that's right. Because I totally forgot that because she did mention it in like the earlier season, especially
Mm-hmm.
season one. She was from
Remember?
like Compton or it's one of
Yeah.
those places.
But she
Yeah.
never been to the beach and stuff. Like,
Oh
Oh
Yep.
yeah.
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 Okay, that's right. I did remember that. Okay. No, yeah, I really like that about Molly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's relatable on a lot of levels. I think you go to college and then you go maybe to grad school and then you see less and less Black people as you go up.
So,
Mm-hmm.
But
black
Mm-hmm.
men.
I do like that Molly stays down, you know,
Right.
and
And
that's
I
important.
think I think her friends ground her too. And she
Mhm.
has that idea of like she knows where she's from and she's not ashamed of it. But honestly, I don't know about that because she did come for one of those interns in her law office back in season one when she came up all loud. You remember that? Y'all remember that episode?
yeah.
Yes,
And
I
she was
do.
like,
Yeah.
mm-hmm. But
But I
that,
think that's from her parent probably teaching her, like, assimilating to get to the top. Because I'm sure she had to do that to like get to where she is.
You
mm-hmm,
do. As someone who works as the only Black woman who works in my job for my agency, you do have
Mm-hmm.
mm-hmm,
to, like, you have to play the game until you
Mm-hmm.
can control the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And she was not in a position as an intern to be like,
mm.
Right.
I have my own office. And I told somebody the other day,
Right.
I say whatever the fuck I want in my office.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Right.
But as an intern, you don't have the chest. You
Oh,
can't speak with your chest like that.
oh, no.
Right. And she was trying to
Mm-hmm,
help her out. I
Yeah.
understand completely. I've had a situation like that and where I
mm-hmm,
worked and it's like, look, you're just coming in, like, it's not the environment, but and then, she already had told when the I think it was her boss, right, that asked her to go back and or to talk to her. She
mm-hmm.
already tried. And so she knows she already offered help and it's not her place to have to do that again.
Right.
And it's just something that the girl had to learn. And I mean,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
That
So
That's true because I think when you are starting out, you have like this overconfidence and be like, I got here this way. Well, she kind of, mentioned it in that episode. She got here this way, so I don't need to, change who I am. Which actually is going to bring me next to this episode with Krayshawn. How do you spell Crenshaw?
Yeah, how you say it?
Crenshaw?
yeah.
Yeah, Cren. I kind of wrote it down. Oh my gosh, I love Kofi, y'all. Oh,
Oh
Wow.
my God.
Jesus.
The
Yeah,
whole
that
time I
was
was
amazing.
thinking,
That was amazing. When he
I
was
it's like
like
watched.
coming at
Archangel.
Issa. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I watched Queen Sugar, so I'm such a fan of
Same.
his.
Same.
No, but that whole when he came for Issa saying you're a
Yeah.
sellout and why do I have to change my set to appease, these brand partners? And I got each side because it's like when you don't know much about like the business side of stuff,
Right.
it makes sense for you to just like stay true in your voice, but you don't realize how much it's such a fine line and it's like you don't know what game to play with it, but in that you saw what happened with it, like the actual guy liked it. But that was such an interesting moment to me though, because you never know if you should like dial down who you are, like again what we were talking about, me Molly, the intern at Molly's office, or if you should listen to higher ups and take their advice. So what did y'all think about that? Did you think
Crenshaw.
Crenshaw was wrong, or was Issa wrong, or did it play out how it was supposed to? Like it was like, how'd y'all feel about that?
I think the audience is one of the differences in this situation, where the intern's audience or where that person was working, that environment was just, all white, pretty much, say to it. And then just the theme of what they were having at the fashion show, I felt like it would make sense for him to, go all out on it and
Mm-hmm.
take that risk. And so I feel like it's the difference in environment. And for Issa, yeah, it's a huge risk because she's starting out. But I mean, this was his brand and everything that he has been through already just by seeing what his brand is about. I mean, to me, it made sense to why he did the way he did it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So.
No, I feel that it should have been done the way that he wanted, just not with those people. Because when you say you agree to do something one way, then you need to stick with that. You can't blindside Issa 5 minutes before the show. He should have said, like he said, I don't want to do that. Maybe we should find somebody else. When she was trying to convince him, he should have said, no, Issa, we need to go with someone else because I'm not changing, and stick with that. Say yes and then change it last minute.
Instead of going behind her
Yeah.
back. Yeah.
Yeah.
For that, I was thinking like when she was going through that, kind of like how she was advocating for the kids at the school she was teaching at, and like when she had to like, remember when the black principal was just kind of like, on some like, uh, blacks and Mexicans
Oh,
divide.
I remember
Oh,
that
yeah.
episode. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and she was kind of tied up, and it kind of was like testing like who she was or like how she really felt about certain, issues or whatnot. So that's kind of what I thought about with that situation. But I don't really know what was the best way to go about it because I know how tough it can be on both sides. But
Right.
if you're gonna put yourself in that position, that's
Yeah.
the risk you take,
Yeah, I think Crenshaw really did disrespect Issa though. So I understood why, like I don't see why she would like work with him again.
Right.
Unless he comes with a legit apology, but I don't even see that happening because of his personality.
The way he looked at her at the end, you knew that no apology was coming. Because everyone loved it, so he's going to feel vindicated.
Yeah, exactly. And just a tangent. I love how, because Issa has like this huge like umbrella of like different things she's doing. So because she has like radio, I think, with her like artist management or music. I was like, oh, look at Issa trying to incorporate a musical artist into this. Just because she does that on just in her personal business adventures. So I love how she's like intertwining them all in this show. A businesswoman. There's one thing. I wanted to talk about Molly getting back in the dating scene because it seemed like she wasn't dating for like a year after the Andrew situation, which that was sad.
Yeah.
And she so that moment when she was like got back on the dating app, I thought it was so funny because it literally that little moment showed her growth because how Molly was just so high strung.
Oh, she was so
without and she knew she wanted everything to be exactly what it needed to be. Like, I want someone with 2 degrees, no kids. Yeah, very like cutthroat. Like, don't message me if you don't have all that, because she was like that. Especially that I think she did that. I forgot what his name was. The one that said he kissed a guy one time or something.
Oh, Jared.
Yeah. I was like, Molly. And then she ran back and played the dude. But that moment, it's like what are you dating? Like, what are you looking for? And that moment, I'm like, dang. Like, even when I was like doing dating apps, I was like, what am I looking for? And it's like, it's so simple, but I'm like, it's so loaded because like, how do you even answer that? Especially like if you don't want to be like so controlling in your answer and you cut off something that you thought would work. But that I just thought that moment was interesting, and her going back and forth with it. I'm rooting for her.
I got personally attacked during that entire part of the show.
Yeah, that was a lot.
I was like, is someone in my living room? Like, I feel attacked at this. Like, her going, because I actually was on the league, so I felt attacked.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It took months to get in, and then you get in there, and like she said, these men ain't shit. They're the same thing as every other app. And they're playing games doing the same thing. And I was watching it, and I really felt for her because as you get older, you're young, you want, again, 2 degrees, this, no kids, no, and you get older and you're like, okay, well, I guess I'm okay with letting this slide a little bit and this, and he don't have to be that tall, and then he can be this. But then are you going to be okay with that?
Yeah, you're truly going to be okay with it.
Yeah.
Well, remember she did find, what was the guy, he was, the one before she got with Dro, the one before, like at her, was it her parents' party or something. She brought that guy that pretty much is perfect on paper, but it just wasn't a fit. Then she,
Yeah, that
I
he was dark
vaguely
skinned.
remember that.
It was
I can't
Michael
remember
K.
that one.
Brown or
Yeah, Sterling Brown
Oh,
was
Sterling
that.
Brown.
Sterling Brown.
Yeah,
Yes,
Oh
yes,
yeah.
yeah.
yes.
He was everything she wanted on paper, and he was the same. He was exactly the same as her.
It was
Where
just no chemistry.
no chemistry.
Yeah.
So she already experienced somebody that checked all those boxes, but it just didn't. It wasn't a fit.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, that's that whole thing. Yeah, I feel you, Melissa, on that because I really I really have to be taken aback when I get on dating apps. I'm like, dang, like it just reinforces like I don't know what I want.
I have no idea. I want to be
I
happy.
hate.
I
Yeah,
just
I
want to be
hate
happy.
filling that stuff out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It just feels so forced for
Well, you
me.
know what it is too. It doesn't matter what you say. There's someone still going to ask you, "Well, what are you looking for?" I just racked my brain for 45 minutes to write this
Oh,
thing.
they don't, and they don't
Read
read
it,
it.
please.
They
Exactly.
don't read it at all.
Read it.
Exactly. I just like let me just throw some pictures that I like
Yeah.
and quotes and hopefully you can piece together what you will.
I literally have up there now, blah blah blah. You'll match with me if you think I'm cute.
And you know, some those guys, the stuff they write, you know, they weren't even thinking
No,
about what they wrote.
they copy and paste it from each other. I've seen the same about
Mhm.
15
Yeah.
times on Bumble.
Oh man, I can't stand Bumble.
Or I see where they like, oh no, you know, black or Hispanic or something like that. I'm like, wow, you're really just putting that right there.
Oh, I really like I'm so hot-headed. I really want to call people out when I see that stuff.
Oh, gosh, the worst.
If I could. If I could message. No, but yeah, oh, I guess the last scene there, that was loaded. Issa and Nathan.
Yeah.
yeah, I love
I
that.
felt her. I felt it.
Yeah.
Like I understand that completely. And it's I don't know how I feel about it. Like I don't know.
At
It's
first, I
like
wasn't sure if she was crying because of Lawrence or if she was crying because she had such an emotional day.
mhm.
And I was like, wait, what are you crying about? And then I was like, oh, wait, that's Lawrence. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then I was like, dang, we don't see Lawrence in this episode.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
but Nathan, like you remember it's season 4, I think. Nathan really, really liked Issa and he shared, you know, some of his deepest thoughts to her. And was kind of upset about the Lawrence situation. And I guess like the fact that he stayed and then Issa was like you know, she wasn't ready. I don't know how Nathan took that. Like I felt his pain in that moment. Cause I'm like, dang, I'm holding someone that's crying over somebody else because
Yeah.
I know it's not that serious because we just had a conversation, you know, not that's like what happened that night. I know it's more than what happened that night to you. And then Issa saying, "Oh, I thought I wasn't ready." That was the icing on the cake, and that's my thing. But it's the reason why I feel conflicted is because I feel both sides, and I'm interested to see what happens next episode. I wonder if it's going to be like a jokey moment that Issa talks about it, or is it going to be something like more reflective when she speaks on it?
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see what she's going to say.
Even though you feel like this was a filler episode, it really to me was more like a foundation episode. Like this is a year later, you know, this is where she's at, and so I think it's just something the foundation for it to build for the next upcoming episode.
Okay, maybe that's what. Okay, that would feel better. That sounds better actually. It wasn't like a lot of, you know, a lot happening that I'm used to in the series.
Yeah, and usually that does happen, but because it's the last season and
has to set it up.
She had to make it something where it sets it up for the next episodes.
I think with the way that they left the first episode with her saying no to Lawrence, we were all expecting a continuation.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
That same night. Yeah.
Okay. I guess episode 3. Maybe we'll get back to it.
Mm-hmm. And they didn't give much in the like preview for episode 3. I'm like, oh my gosh. It was just Lawrence at the table. So hopefully the next episode gives me more. I guess it was pretty solid. It's not something that I'm like, was there a memorable moment for this? Did you guys have any memorable moments?
I thought it was so funny that one lady, the anchor lady that was like interviewing her from the last season of the block party, interviewed her again for this.
Oh,
funny as
that
fuck.
was an
I thought
Easter
that was
egg. I
so
didn't
funny.
catch that. You're right.
I
You're
was like,
right.
oh, you're back.
No, but that character is real. Like those women like are out there because they have to get, that interview because they're like a small time, reporter most likely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I
I
definitely know what it's
do.
like.
I do know some people in LA that are like that.
Yep, they're aggressive. They got to get it.
Mm-hmm. I literally, I like before I sent like the link to record this, I don't know if you guys know Brittany Renner.
Yes.
Yeah. She was a reporter for Rolling Loud, and I just saw her video of like, hey, would you like an interview? And it was J. Cole walking past her, and she said Rolling Loud, and then he was like, oh, and then came back. I was like, is that how it is in this?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it makes sense. You have to be aggressive to get people to notice you. I was like, oh wow,
Right.
I could never. It reminds me of a job at Six Flags, being the games department. I hated that because you're like, do you want to play a game? I hate that. Oh my god. But yeah, you guys have any final thoughts on this episode before we wrap up?
I love Molly's hair.
I do too.
Love it. And I'm glad. I'm rooting for Molly. Like, come on, Molly, get it together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wasn't rooting for her season 4, but this season, yes. There was a lot going on with her. I understood it, but I just like, But no, yeah, the haircut. But
yeah, I liked it a lot, honestly. It was the Lamert Park heaviness that did it for me too. When they opened with the bookstore, in Lamert Park, it's a Black-owned bookstore. They supported like a lot of local Black authors and I think poets and stuff. And then the book, The Vanishing Half, I hear is really good. Yeah, but yeah.
The lady looked super creepy when she's like, you saved my life.
Yes.
Oh,
and had that grin. I was like, yeah, Issa, I wouldn't know what to say either.
And the museum where they had the fashion show at, the California African American Museum, they have a lot of different good exhibits about like Black Los Angeles history here, about Compton back in the day, Watts, California, LA, it's really cool. So that's what I really appreciated about this episode.
Yeah. I have to go there soon.
That's cool.
Cool. All right, y'all. It's been such a great time talking with you all. Everyone listening, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you comment below, what can you comment? I have no idea. Just say hi in the comments. And we'll be back next week, Sunday evening. Tune in and join our conversation with us. Thank you all again for being on this panel, and I'll see y'all next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, y'all.